Okay, so welcome to our Wellness Wednesday. Today we're talking about the difference between static stretching and dynamic stretching and why it's really important to understand this, especially if you're trying to get more mobility. So we first want to understand that mobility is different than flexibility. We can be doing stretches, and there's a lot of, I see a lot of people actually coming in and they take their leg behind their head, and while that may be flexible, they're not really helping their body by doing that. And so what we do for just meeting, I'm Stefana, the founder of Yogilachi. We focus on corrective exercise here. Yogilachi is the perfect blend of yoga, Pilates, and Tai Chi. That's its name. And in doing that, we really focus on functionality. We want you to move your body amazingly well outside of the studio, outside of our classes. So we are really into helping you get your body back and get energized and confident and strong, but from the inside out. So this is a reader's question, and I'm going to show the roller a little bit later today. So if you have a roller, we will be using that. This is a key piece to understand, though. Yoga is traditionally built of static postures. So those would be static stretches that you would hold. It's not necessarily going to get you more mobile. It can help with your flexibility, but more so what yoga does, and this type of static stretching, what it does is it calms the central nervous system down. So it calms down our anxiety and our stress. So it's a very, very good thing to do. It's not necessarily a good thing to do if you want to be more mobile, more agile, more get a better run in, get a better spin class in, get a better Spartan race in. For that, you want dynamic stretching. So I'm going to show you some postures that would traditionally be static poses in yoga, and we're going to make them dynamic. So what is a dynamic stretch? How does that differ? It's that you're moving. And that can even be a little bit of plyometric type of movements that you're creating those muscles, you're getting them more than just warm up. So let's go through this very traditional yoga posture. This one is similar to we see this a lot in yoga postures. I do this myself almost daily. And so this is like doing a lunge, right? So this is a long stretch lunge. We've got a calf stretch that can happen here. And then if we bring that knee in, we can lower that down, and we've got a nice long hip flexor quad stretch there. We can even get up into that abdominal chain and across the IT band by stretching sideways. We can make this even more by creating a twist. Now, when we're static, we're holding. So this would be a static hold stretch. And I use this a lot, and I teach this a lot as a framework for a warm-up. That moment of holding is still very beneficial. So I don't want you to confuse this idea that I'm saying static stretching is not good. It's just used for a different purpose. So when we go into those static stretches and hold those, we're getting more strength, we're getting more improved balance, we're getting improved focus, we're tuning into our body. So there's a lot of benefits to that. But now let's do this in more of a dynamic way. So let's say you're getting ready to go for a race. You could just, if you had space, you would continue going. And I like doing this for outside, and I'm training in a park. Then I will go long, continuing on this. But if you're just in this space, then you can still do this where one forward and rotate, come back center and extend. And then you can do that again. I'll add one more piece to this where you go into your lunge, you're going to rotate. That's going to add a whole nice chain to that. We want to still make sure we're breathing, and then we're going to lift. So we hold, we've got new muscles activating, and then we're going to go into our balance. A lot of strength stretching there, but it's also creating that dynamic move. So we can go here, in, down. We can come back down into a squat. So we're getting lots of movements. Now, if I were preparing to do a Spartan, I would probably do some ballistic moves because I want to get stronger and I want to get my muscles moving so that I can get through the races. So that's one example of doing the static, and then you saw it as a dynamic stretch. A couple of other things that I would say, I like this one. So I will do this and show this in yoga as a posture and hold. Now this is actually great for the hip flexor. So we're going to come here and hold this. And if you're not able to get onto your foot, like on this side, I cannot yet. Still working on improving my knee injury. So what you could do is bring that all the way in. And this is a movement here where we are actually getting our hip flexor engaged. So this is an important one to be able to do without dumping the back. So if you see this happening, this would not be the correct way to do this posture. And I see this a lot for people that are very tight in their hamstrings. Then it pulls on the back. So we want to work on being able to get good posture, good form, impeccable alignment. And when you have that and you really focus on that, you're going to notice that you're able to hold a strong posture longer, and you're going to get a lot more strength in this. Now we're going to make this a little bit more dynamic because we're going to move this. So we can either add the arms, we can have arms moving, we can kick the legs, we can walk through this, we can add a skip. If we had more space, I would probably do big, big skips. And that would be very similar to just holding this stretch, right? So this is just a hold stretch, static. There's benefit, but if you're going to go race and you want more mobility, then I would do one and then two, really big, right? I don't have room, I'll go right through the wall. But this type of movement where you can even get a little bit bigger and do big skipping. I love skipping, in fact, where you're literally letting your leg and your body force pull you forward. That would be dynamic stretching. Hamstring is there, hip flexor. Lots going on in that beautiful dynamic stretch. Again, you still have your static stretch hold, right? So there's your hamstring, hip flexor, calf, all the way through. All right, so that's our Wellness Wednesday for the day. If you comment below, subscribe, let us know if there's something you're wanting help with. We love to answer questions if we can. And if you're looking for some support, we have a 21-day reset coming up. You can always find us at yogilachi.com or here on our channel. And until next time, I'm your host at Yogilachi. Be well, keep moving, and peace and blessings.